Learning theories are constantly changing and evolving as we discover more about how best to acquire knowledge and skills, and in more recent times, how to incorporate the development of social and emotional intelligence into learning. Learning theories form the basis of a personal pedagogical framework that shapes our practices, strategies, and methods as educators. In order to construct this framework, we must look at these learning theories and decide for ourselves as future teachers which theories most align with our views on teaching and learning. Behaviourist view. Behaviourism is a theory which states that learning is demonstrated by the learner's reaction to stimulus and their behaviour modifications as a result of teaching. Cognitive view. Sometimes referred to as developmental learning theory, this educational perspective states that learning is a basic function that utilises organisation and adaptation of thinking to allow us to adjust to our environment. Humanistic view. This educational perspective focuses on educating the whole student through interpersonal and intrapersonal experience. It incorporates higher order thinking by integrating reasoning, decision-making and experience into learning. Constructivist view. Constructivism can also be referred to as problem-based learning and theorises that learners construct meaning for themselves through experiences and problem-solving. Social constructivist view. Like constructivism, this theory suggests that people construct meaning for themselves through social and cultural processes and interactions. Neuroscientific view. This contemporary learning theory focuses on learning as a process of experiences that shape the structure and organisation of our brains, which in turn changes our behaviour. These learning theories frame the way educators plan and deliver the curriculum and learning activities. In Queensland, schools are required to collaboratively develop their own pedagogical framework to ensure quality teaching and learning. In addition to this, each individual teacher will have a different viewpoint on learning theories and a personal philosophy of education from which they can develop a personal pedagogical framework. My personal pedagogical framework has been developed by combining a range of learning theories in addition to principles of effective teaching and learning. It includes a variety of instructional strategies and higher order pedagogies. Constructivism, social constructivism, and humanism are theories of learning that resonate with my personal philosophy. Famous theorists such as Vygotsky and Piaget have influenced my views. I believe the best learning takes place when students construct meaning for themselves from activities that are based on the student's real-world experiences. It is my opinion that the teacher's role is that of a facilitator and is there to guide the learning and provide assistance where required. In my classroom, students will have many opportunities to direct their own learning to suit their interests, work with their peers, and reflect on their learning. This will encourage self-motivation in my students, echoing the humanist theory. I intend to incorporate the core principles identified by the Queensland Department of Education, Training and Employment, which are student-centred planning, high expectations, alignment of curriculum, pedagogy and assessment, evidence-based decision-making, targeted and scaffolded instruction, and safe, supportive, connected and inclusive learning environments. The following sections will outline how I intend to incorporate these core principles into my personal pedagogical framework. As mentioned, I tend to follow a constructivist view on learning, and therefore creating a student-centred classroom is something I deem very important. I believe that students need to relate their learning to their experiences and prior knowledge. To ensure all students' learning styles are catered for, I use Gardner's multiple intelligence theory when planning and delivering learning experiences. This is something that I view as extremely important when differentiating for different learning styles. This approach allows me to understand how my students process information, and therefore I am better able to cater for their learning needs. Ted Berry states in his paper, How Middle School Students Succeed, that students act according to the expectations parents and teachers have of them. Therefore, by being explicit in our expectations for students to succeed and their belief that students can perform well, we as teachers can set high expectations of our students and inspire accomplishment. This aligns with a humanist point of view. In addition, using Bloom's taxonomy to support higher order thinking activities can assist with setting high expectations for students. Students should easily be able to meet these expectations with the right scaffolding from their teacher. Learners can be supported by teachers making sure they are explicit in their expectations of learning and assessment. Lessons should be delivered incorporating a range of intelligences, experiences and activities, allowing students to draw on prior knowledge for assistance. This follows the constructivist theory. Social constructivist and humanist views can be implemented by incorporating group work into units and opportunities to work on cooperative and interpersonal tasks. I am lucky enough to currently work in a school where student data is collected, collated, reviewed and used to inform planning and teaching. It has proven to be an extremely valuable tool to assist with reviewing and updating teaching and learning practices. I would include data collection on a smaller scale in my own classroom, and it would be used to inform my planning and pedagogy, and also as a guide to which learning and teaching strategies work best for the students in my class. This core principle of Education Queensland's pedagogical framework focuses on student-centred learning environments and differentiation for individual student needs. I believe that it is important to teach each child according to their learning needs and scaffold instruction to align with their prior knowledge and experiences, allowing them to construct meaning from their environments. Grouping students together with varying needs and learning styles also ensures that knowledge and experience is shared and aligns with a humanist perspective. Providing a safe, supportive and inclusive learning environment allows students and teachers to practice openness and interpersonal skills, which in turn encourages students and others to raise issues and ask questions, practice honesty and open communication, and build rapport with each other and with the teacher, and learning through these experiences. It also requires instruction tailored to the needs of individual students for inclusivity, as mentioned when discussing targeted and scaffolded instruction. This core principle very much aligns with my framework and philosophy. It incorporates both constructivist and humanist perspectives and is extremely important in the construction of a good learning environment. My personal pedagogical framework aligns with the Education Queensland pedagogical framework, and I believe that it allows me to incorporate a large range of teaching and learning practices. Both frameworks promote the use of higher order thinking skills and student-centred learning. The limiting feature of my framework is the amount of planning that is required to provide the correct amount of scaffolding and instruction for students to still be able to direct their own learning while working towards specific targets and outcomes. However, I am confident in my approach and am proud of my personal pedagogical framework. I believe that it provides a solid foundation on which to build productive and effective learning environments during my career as an educator. I believe that this framework will be re-evaluated during my career as I continue my lifelong learning journey, but I predict that the core theories of constructivism and humanism that I have based my framework on will inform any changes to my personal pedagogical framework in future.